Hey, what up, Zincasso? In fact, hello. What's good, everybody? Welcome. What's up, Alchemy? It's been a while. What up, Zesty? How are you, man? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Haven't been here for a long time. That's okay. This is like base or home, you know. You can leave, you can go, but you always have a warm welcome when you come back. Ah, fuck, shit. As I said, you'll always have a warm welcome when you come back. Yeah, so I'm going to try to juggle quite a few tasks today. So we're going to be busting through feedback, and we're going to get going here in just a second. I'm going to wait for just a couple of people to show up. We're going to bust out this giveaway. It's giveaway time! My brother was watching this dude like unbox Pokemon cards, and like it gets me hella hype, and that's kind of like one of our running jokes, because like he's always like, he does this thing where he takes the holo and he puts it in the back, so that way there's like 2 energies before you get to it, and then he's always like energy, and then like the big reveal of the holo card in the pack is like, oh my god. So I like to take the spirit of that, and we'll be definitely busting out this giveaway. Hey, is that bunch of Team Ponzu? I think. I'm not sure. I can't read what that is, but your avatar looks familiar. So, yeah, I'm gonna wait maybe like just a few minutes and get everybody up in here, and then we're gonna just fucking bang out this giveaway. I'm gonna do 3 giveaways today, actually. Yeah, it's me. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, see, I remember people. By the way, thank you all so much for the 8K. It's pretty cool, man. We're 80% there, and that's pretty sweet. It's really cool to know that like there's that many people that, you know, think that I'm doing something. So I forgot, do we post the tunes on Discord feedback? The Alchemy Beats your blog channel. Everything goes there. Everything goes there. It's a trap because I make you join Discord. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be there anyways, though, right? It's a good place to be. So, yeah. We've got 6 people so far. 6 people. All right. That's cool. Let me see here. Let's grab our giveaway tune. So yeah, 3 giveaways today. We're going to be rolling 3 times, and somebody's going to win anything off my sample pack store, and then 2 other people are going to be winning 2 like smaller packs, so anything that's like $10 or less. So let me get on over here. Let's go to the map BGM. And I think that we are going to start rolling it out. Okay, so I'm going to tag everybody just in case. And everyone hop in. Let's go! As my friend Isaiah always says. Hop in for the giveaway. Then you can go. All right. So let's see here. What are we doing? All right. So if you want to enter the giveaway, if you are interested in winning something off my website, I need you to do me a favor and type in 1 in the chat. Here we go. It's a giveaway time. Giveaway. It's giveaway. Giveaway time. All right. We've got Josh T. We've got My Logify. We've got, I'm just gonna say bunch of team. Etienne, Kigley, Soda Tax. I think that's Carbon. Misplaced. Finn, Saza, Jasmine, Tende. I already got you, Finn. Did I miss anybody? Did I get Elias? Nope, I missed Elias. Sorry, Elias. Please let it be a 12-hour recording of you acting like Big Boss. Unknown David. You still have time to submit. I'll explain it again in just a second. Hey, Corva, push one. Hurry, push one. Corva, push one. Corva, push one. Go, Corva. I'm going to enter you anyways. And I'm also going to throw Zincasso in there. Alright. So, let me pause the music for a sec. Alright, so we're still 2,000 subscribers away from the sub pack giveaway. However, we're doing 3 giveaways today. We're doing one is going to be you win anything off my website, which will be either the most expensive sample pack, which is usually what people go for, or anything else of your choice. And then we're going to have like 2 smaller prizes to where you can win anything that's $10 or less off the website. So 3 winners. We're going to do big winner first, and then we'll do 2 small winners. Every 200 subs I do this just to say thank you all. And it's nothing huge, but it's just a small way to give back to you all and say like thank you for being here. So let's go ahead and roll this out. Let's get the music back on, and we will find our winners. Are you all ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Spin that wheel! Woo! Yo, Jasmine, you are our big winner. Message me on Discord after the stream. Big winner. Chicken dinner. All right, let's spin again. So these are for the 2 smaller prizes. Let's go! Soda Tax! Congrats on the small win. You can win anything that's $10 or less on the sample pack store. Let's do one more. Carbon! Congrats, everybody. Congrats. I hope that my stuff serves you well. For those of you that won, go to alckemy.com, find whatever it is that you want, and send me a message on Discord, and I will get it to you in a timely manner. But for now, we've got some feedback to do. So let's go ahead and run that bit. All right, misplaced is first. Then we've got, where are we? Wait, I think we have Zincasso first. Where am I? Alckemy Beats your block time today? Yeah, misplaced. I thought it's oh, and then we have Josh 10. Sorry. Yeah, and then Zincasso. Okay, I'm not tripping. Then we've got David. Then we have Inkscape. And then that's it. Inkscape, thank you so much. So for you guys, leave a comment on what you want me to look for, or what you want me to talk about, or what you want me to pay attention to. And then I was going to say something else about this as well. No, that's it. Let's go ahead and get to the feedback. Thank you guys. Congrats on that. Congrats on the wins. On the wins. Yay. Congrats, yo. Holy shit. I didn't enter Tinaday. I think, did I miss you? Did you enter? You did enter. Okay, dude, I'm gonna send you something anyways, cause I forgot to enter you. I am so sorry. Um, I got you, fam. It's very important that I. I am so sorry. Fuck, I hope my phone doesn't die. Well, yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys are a mid-tier member, that's what I was gonna say. Then let me know because you guys get to skip the line. We're gonna be taking a look at the membership stuff in a bit, just because. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I just made like 5 mistakes. Okay, let's go. Let's move on. All right, Misplaced, you are first, and we'll be taking a look at that feedback. Sorry, I am listening, but I am also stretching or doing my physical therapy. If you guys didn't know, I'm recovering from a back injury, so I'm trying to do two things at once. So, Misplaced, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I think that there's a couple of key things that you want to focus on whenever you're trying to create these rhythms. But this is very different from you, and it's really cool stuff. I think that on the fill, which is probably one of the biggest moments that you have whenever you have that mid bass that comes in, it's like the womp, right? You really want to try to make space for that. And right now, everything kind of leads into it and it kind of flows over. And so you kind of lose that moment in that sense. And so, what I would focus on is maybe having a reverse sample or something that maybe automating reverb or something to make that moment bigger and cut everything else except for that bass whenever that moment comes in. And the reason why is because it's going to say, pay attention to this moment, right? And so I think that is going to be something that will be a lot more useful to you, and that will like have a lot more impact within that. So the other thing too is you've got this like cool little thing that's keeping the tempo, the click, click, right? That thing. And personally, I would maybe try to make that bigger because that's what's kind of like playing the conductor through the tune. That's what you're kind of like helping. That's one of like the key components that's helping you define what you're using to take you through the rest of the song, because the other stuff is kind of like, I guess, I don't want to say samey, but it's hard to tell where you are otherwise. And that's a mistake that I make a lot too. And like I usually end up doing something like this as well and going back and like attaching one thing to it to kind of help you figure out like where you are in the tune. So if you can make that kind of bigger, or you can kind of be a little bit more elaborate or playful with that, then everything else that kind of hits right here and stuff is going to have a little bit more like of a sense of direction. I kind of want to listen to this part again. Okay, so this is, you did yourself a really good favor. I also condone against having a really quiet intro and a really loud main section. Thankfully, I'm not on headphones, so you can get away with it. But if I were on headphones, I'd scold you. Save your homies' ears. But this little thing right here is really cool, and I think that you should introduce that again towards the end of this section, because that's going to help take you into the bridge. And or like what you can even do is like think about finding a way to reintroduce this pad and then just playing the kick and sub while you let some kind of ambience evolve over time. And then that can kind of take you into whatever kind of abstract obscurity you want to go into. But that's pretty much what I would do for that one. There's not really a whole lot to say, but this is really cool, man. I fixed that in the newer version, my bad. I was trying to make it bigger but couldn't figure out how to fix it. So the way that you would do that is by, I think what I would do personally is put it in mono. And I think that this other stuff is pretty wide, but I would use a mid-side EQ on the cymbal reverb stuff that you have, the and make sure that like the low end stuff is there. And then what you can do is make a pocket EQ to let that sit in the middle and then have some kind of slapback reverb to where the reverb is really close in a small room. And what that will do is that will kind of have a reflection, like a short reflection on that, and that will make that a little bit bigger. Because right now, like the way that it sits in the mix is actually not bad. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. But at the same time, it does kind of seem like it wants to be bigger, right? And so like, or maybe what you can even do is think about like when that little thing comes in, like you can automate the volume of that other stuff, or you can put a notch filter right where that resonant frequency is of the cloop, 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 because that's kind of only occupying like one specific kind of space, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do in that way. You might just have to try to poke at it in a few different ways. But yeah, dude, that was really cool. Big ups, man. All right, let's move on. Who is next? Josh, you're next. This is a random idea. Alright, so my feedback on that was it's too short. Thank you. Also very cool of you to do giveaways and everything. Big ups. Yeah, man. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel. Actually, thank you all for being here in general. So, I appreciate it. The intro sounds like an intro to an early Periphery tune. Yeah, so I think it's just too short. Like, this section right here can definitely be extended, but I definitely think if you can find some kind of rap acapella or something like that just to be in the background, that would be really cool. Yeah, so I guess it depends on like where you want to take this idea, right? Because like the tempo that you have for this can actually be really cool. I often get stuck in a loop like this. Okay, so just duplicate it. Duplicate the loop and then add an instrument to it. Some kind of little... Yeah, because you've got space in your high mids to have like some kind of like cool, chill, little laid back lead, or even a piano or something. And like maybe that's even something that you can do is like once this section comes, right, you can have like a little bit of a riser, and then whatever those chords are that you're playing with the wham, 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 you can change it into a piano and go into like a smoother way section or something. But this still seems kind of like an intro to me, and it's like for me personally, when I first heard like this main hook of it, I actually thought this was going to be like a drum and bass tune or like a like that kind of tune. So I think that would be pretty sick as well. But yeah, it really just depends on like the musical direction that you want to take that in general. So I think that you can do them all, really. But as far as getting out of this, just duplicate this section right here and make a small variation to it. And that could be you changing the drums, that could be you adding another instrument, that could be you putting a filter over the wham, 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 and maybe making it kind of more paddish, or you can even stop the beat and kind of let it go out in ambience and then focus on creating a new musical part and then reintroducing the beat. So that way it'll help you connect two ideas together, right? So I just gave you like 5 options. So I'm I'm sure one of those will stick, hopefully. But yeah, man, this is really cool. This needs to be longer. Do more. Good stuff though. All right, Zincasso. Zincasso. I just had my coffee, so. What? Nani? This is sick. Threw in the Mega Man sample. Oh, that was. Oh shit, that was. Yo. Oh man, that was so cool. Yo, Zincasso, I don't know if you heard that or not, but the Mega Man sample like hit right over that, and that was perfect timing. Joshua, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Dude, that's not only cool that you come out and support Misplaced, but I also really appreciate you supporting me. It means a lot, man. Thank you so much. That was freaking cool. Long story short. So, like, I wonder if there's like even more rhythm or something that you can explore over that by like having some kind of mellow section between that, because this has like such a great progression over the top, and I actually kind of feel like it doesn't really. Okay, yeah, to be honest, like the only thing that I would actually do to this is maybe mix it. But if you're like really keen on making it longer, then I would maybe have some kind of section that's a little bit more mellow and focuses on the bass, and maybe some kind of. Did I miss the giveaway? You did. I'm sorry. We did it at the beginning of the stream. I pinged everyone. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I think that if you're able to have a section there, because like it's in such a wonky rhythm, and like we know this, so we kind of know what to expect. But for somebody listening to this for the first time, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And I think that would be cool to like give them a chance to catch up, if that makes sense. But man, like the musical progression that you have in this is so freaking nice. And like this is a future garage tune, but it's not like the tutorial that I put up the other day, right? I only had a few minutes to join. I have to go now. Best of luck. Keep the great work. Thanks, man. I'm so sorry you missed it. But you know, in the next 200 subs, we'll do another one. So let's just kind of, and like when we do the big giveaway, like I'm gonna make like an actual post on it that you don't have to be on stream for. Like it's gonna be something that everybody can enter. So, and then what I'll do is I think that I'll just pull that stream up, and it will be like I'll just have like an hour for everybody to join or something, or like a countdown, and it will be like a really cool like moment or something, and then I'll announce who that is, who wins that. Cause that way it's fair. Yeah. So I think that'd be good. Hey, yo, jumped in to say hi. Yo, what up, E-Fly? Thanks for coming in, man. So yeah, I think that having some kind of like more mellow section for just a second, and like kind of focusing on where Everlast. What? would be really cool. And I think that it would be cool to like reconstruct the beat. I think that's a good way to put that too, of reconstructing the beat, but maybe even having like a different percussive element over that. Or like maybe even seeing if there's a section that you can break that 11/8 timing as well. This is like 5 head, 200 IQ for me of like how to do that, because I'm basic. I write in 6/4 and I write in 4/4, and that's pretty much it. All the other stuff confuses the hell out of me. But yeah, man, this is such a nice tune. So like something I think would be really freaking nice. Hey, I'm not going to submit because it's the same song. Well, if you changed it, you can submit it again. But that synth right there would be really freaking cool for you to have like a low pass filter on it, like a dun 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 dun, and then like just let the bass play out as well. And I think that would be like a really beautiful piece to where like it kind of focuses in on that. 17/4 almost exclusively now. Oh, I 7/4 almost exclusively. Okay. Yeah. That would be super awesome, actually. I really want to hear that. If you don't want to do it, send me the stems, because I want to try that and just see what that sounds like. But yeah, man, that's probably pretty much what I would do. But I would say, like, if anything, this story that you created, like from beginning to from this point to this point, it can actually be claimed complete, other than maybe extending the outro. 5 is the danciest number. 5/4 all the day. It sounds like you like metal. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. That's really hard to dance to, actually, at least for me. But then I don't dance. So, dude, that was really cool, man. I always love your submissions. Super sick, man. All right, Unknown David, you're next. And then we have Inkscape. And then we've got all these other people. Okay. Yeah.
Hi girl. Hi girl, you look nice. You're than shy the sun. Why are you running? Why are you running? I want to say hello. I want to say.
Yo, we gotta run this back. Hi girl. Hi grill. Hi grill. No dirty talking, chat. Yeah, we gotta run that back. This is now every time I go to grill, this is what I'm gonna be thinking of.
Hi girl, you look nice. You're than shy the sun. Why are you running?
Hey, Adam.
Why are you running? I want to say hello. I want to say. I just want to say hello. I want to say.
Yeah, I think the clicks are from the percussion.
I want to say hello. I want to say. I just want to say hello. I want to say.
That's how you get better, though, right? Just by submitting. Well, it's one way to get better, anyways. You should know by now, though, that I don't roast
Hi,
crowds.
girl. You look nice. Do not you out that robots can love too. Trust me, I can. I can. Trust me, I can. I can. Why are you running? You running? Why are you running? You running? I want to say you running. You running? Why are you running? I want to say hello. 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 I want to say. I just want to say hello. I want to say.
I want to say. Man, that was so cool. Very, very skippy and stuff. Okay, so like your biggest thing for this, David, is honestly mixing. And mixing isn't really like my thing. Hello. Hello. Hey, Tony. I like the things you do. Hey, Tony. Sorry. All right, so yeah, with this, I think the mixing is probably the biggest thing. But one like creative idea that I have is like right here when the robot. I'm actually more curious. I'm actually more curious as to like how the sample was recorded or like where you got it from, because it's very funny. But I think that you can actually create a little skit right here, right? Of maybe like, like stop all the music or like maybe have everything like with the filter or something, and like where you just have kind of like the bass line, but it's really low and kind of turned down, kind of like what's that one tune, Internet Friends, right? But maybe like you have some kind of interaction with the machine or something. It's a speech generator. Just wrote text in it. Well, funny story, dog. So big ups on the writing. But yeah, so yo, what up, 18 hands? So if you have the ability, you do have the ability. But if you're interested in it, then what I would do is like I would flesh this skit out to maybe like have some other kind of background elements that allude to like creating the physical space of like the robot trying to interact with this girl and the girl like screaming, running away or something, and then like the police come or something. I think that would be really funny, and that would be an excellent way to lead back up into this last little section. And I think like you can just spend 15 seconds doing it and you would have pretty much a perfect radio edit, right? But other than that, like really just the stuff that I would really go back and fix is really just the mixing. And it's not bad. It's definitely listenable and has energy and stuff. But Misplaced was also saying that text-to-speech recommendations, you can just use, Adam, I think you can just use Vital, yeah? Or like Microsoft Sam or something. But what was I going to say? What was I going to say about this? Yeah, there's some clicks and pops, and that's because your percussion has too many harsh transients in it. Funny story, dog. But other than that, I think like this is
I want to.
Yeah, and I think maybe the only thing that I could think of to add a little bit more energy is like you've got the open hats, but you can actually place like just a little bit of white noise over this part right here. And I would maybe even consider putting like a ring mod over it, so where it's like kind of like that type of noise. But other than that, dude, like this is pretty much done. Cool to hear other time signatures done right in electronic music. This is the place to hear it, just not from me, because I'm not very good at that. I'm trying to focus more on like I try to figure out how to confuse you in a 4/4 time as opposed to just confuse you in general. To each their own. Yeah, dude, this was so cool, man. Thanks for submitting that. But other than that, like it's mix and master, and then maybe consider adding that little skit. That would be really cool. Inkscape, you were next. Bruh. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We'll work on it. Yeah, man. FL Studio has a speech plugin? Oh, hey, D2. There is clicking. Something is clicking. Is it like, did my sound get wrecked? Let's see if that fixes it. On your sub, try to do... Yeah, is it like... Or is it this, or is it me? Is it super distorted, or what's going on? You think it's the track? Okay. How's this? Okay, it's the track itself. All right, now I'm more paranoid. Might need more RAM. That was a track thing? Okay. My ears. Yeah, there's no way that's clipping. Hold on, let me pull up YouTube. Hold on, yeah, that's me, guys. Okay, I just pulled it up. That's me. Just restream. Yeah, the clipping is me. Everything is lined up. I mean, it's really just Streamlabs. Hold on, let me pull up my chair. Streamlabs tends to do that quite a bit. And you know what? This usually, like, Streamlabs just updated, and now it's not playing nicely with. No, it's not playing nicely with that. So let me see if I can get this to fix. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's see now. Let me pull up YouTube. Okay, I just pulled it up. That's me. Come on. Yeah, the clipping is me. Chris Lake also get problems with this, like Streamlabs. Everything is lined up. I mean, it's really just I've been in the talks about switching back to OBS. Streamlabs tends to do more convenient for stuff, but now that it's all set up, I might just switch back over. This usually, like, Streamlabs just updated, and now it's okay. Yeah, but play the thing. OBS is better? No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say so. Yeah, we're still clipping. Okay. OBS never does that. I'm getting a delay on your voice. Yeah, that's because I'm watching myself and checking my own audio this time. All right. I need to, let's try this method. Fucking Streamlabs. Problems, problems, and problems. Okay, so we'll create a new multi-output device, black hole USB 41K. Put the drift correction on. Make sure that all of these are 44.1. 44.1. Oh, that might be the culprit. .1. Okay. Let's see if that works. Trying to make sure that all of these are okay. Now it's worst. I love the concept of this tune. Haha, hilarious. What? All right, let's see if this works now. Oh, wait. All right. Did that play? Fixed? All right. So, yeah. It's sounding clean. Okay, yeah. So sometimes, like, something goes awry here, and then I just have to create, like, a new output channel. That drives me crazy. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Let's go ahead and play this tune back again, and I apologize for the clicking and stuff. The audio is better, but it didn't fix the track. this was cool. I think I'm not really sure how I feel about that low FM sounding bass because it kind of seems I can't really quite put my finger on it. I think that it's in key, but something just seems kind of off about it, and that might be because there's that pitch drift on that main. Hold on. That pitch drift on that main sitar sounding drone, but that could just be me. But I think that like I guess it depends on like what it is that you want to do with this track. Like if you want to create it into something that's going to like continue to create more tension and evolve, then you want to find more ways to add tension to that over time, right? Because like you do a really good job of bringing it up to a certain point, but then you kind of just keep it there, and it doesn't really go anywhere from that point on. But if you wanted to turn it into a track that was more of like that has a release within it, then maybe what I would do is find different ways to focus on, like instead of hey now, thanks for coming in. Instead of focusing on just having like the na na, like you can take away the drone and focus more so on building the rhythm and maybe add like some different kind of percussion to it to what's it called? To kind of push the track forward and have some kind of like change within that. I hope that makes sense, but it's going to kind of end up being up to you in that case, because 4 minutes is a really long time to like try to keep tension for that long. But you know, it does kind of have that kind of like pre-final boss kind of vibe to it, and so I guess it would depend on like just again what it is that you want to do with that, right? My back is okay. I've been to the chiropractor twice. I went and got a massage, both being very expensive, but but yeah, I'm in the midst of like we'll add things to up the tension. Yeah, so then what you want to do is just maybe have stuff. Josh, stop! Thank you, man. I appreciate it. What you want to keep doing is kind of like finding other things, and like I really like that you have this like drifting pitch drone on top of that, because what that's going to do is that is going to allow things to kind of allow you to frying bacon is the best noise. Yeah, I actually agree with that. That's a really good layer in that sense. Oh yeah, white noise will be great. Thanks, C-Fly. Yeah, just kind of something like that, or something that kind of like slowly rises, and like having a shepherd tone would be really good towards the end of the track. Something that constantly sounds like it's going up, right? You can kind of YouTube how to do that, but that's really all that I think that this track needs in general, unless if you want to add to the percussion more. But I guess if that's what this track is meant to be, then I don't think that much needs to change. Did that do anything? No, it didn't. Oh, okay. So Streamlabs hasn't labeled that yet. That should go off and make noises. I really don't like when somebody does something nice and Streamlabs doesn't make noise. That's a primary thing. But yeah, you can put in some cheeky piano notes for memes, I guess. But yeah, just maybe just like another like a tabla would be cool. You better make noise. No noise. Let's try that again. Oh, it's because it's that one. That one never makes noise. I might take that one off. But thank you so much for the donation. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Make a sound. All right. But yeah, dude, that's what I got for that one. Really cool stuff. Okay. Where are we at? Need to make sure that people are thanked properly. I think we're on yeah, we're on Saza. Saza? Did I miss it? You missed the giveaway, Cassiopeia. I'm sorry. Oh, do what? LOL. Okay. Finishing this for a while. I'm not sure if it is final enough. Pretty sure on how to improve the track. How are your M1? Do you still like it? Okay, so like I do like it, but I do like it, but I've had a lot of problems with it, with the updates and stuff. Oh, hello, Sam. What's it called? I've had to wipe my computer. I've also had to send it back in because of specific issues, like the USB dock fried my motherboard. Um, what else happened? Yeah, the update like kicked me out of like like deleted my administrative account, so I couldn't even log in several times. So I've lost my data like 5 or 6 times. But like the performance of it is good. So when it works, and hopefully we're kind of past that. But we'll see. Um, it's a great, how do you say? It's a great computer, assuming that the hardware isn't fucked up. But yeah, DTMF version 8.3. Bruh. I'm not a toxic really, but this music is from Lifehack Videos, Harmony and Sound. Wait, what? So I think the biggest thing with this is that actually there's 2 points. For one, your main section, the synth is kind of muddy, but also missing some high end. I noticed that you had some noise that goes over the top, but it was so quiet compared that it seemed like a different element as opposed to filling out the complete frequency spectrum. And if that's not what you're trying to do, then that's totally fine. But that's just something that I noticed in particular. I think that like the biggest thing for me though was that the bridge seemed kind of off compared to that last little section that you had. And I think that Um, what I would do instead is focus on maybe creating sustained chords um, of this section, because right now it's like da na 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 na, but of having that kind of section lead into that, and that's just like, I know that's kind of like, you know, basic and what everybody does in their tracks, but right now this is a little bit abstract and it makes it seem like the track is going to go in a different direction. So if you really like this part, then I would maybe find some other elements to bring into this part right here that goes into that. If you don't care about this part, then maybe try to build off of this section and create something of that aspect, if that makes sense. But the drop gives me Minecraft spinning 3D text intro vibes. I mean, it's happy, right? It's happy music, and happy music is okay. But that's pretty much like the biggest thing, aside from mixing in itself. I definitely think that you crushed it way too hard as well. Like, if you... This definitely is like... you don't have to push it that hard. Well, if you want it to be... I mean, if you want it to be crushed, then you can do that, but I don't think that's what you were going for. There's better ways to use distortion if you want it to kind of sound like it's like crackling and blowing up in that sense. But really, that's the only two things that I would have. And maybe extend the outro, because right now it's just like, done. Sounds generic, IMO. Like, that's not, yeah, like, that's not really helpful feedback, right? That's not why we're here. I mean, a lot of times, to be honest, like, for the most part, there's most people make generic music because we like to listen to the things that we want to listen to. But if somebody is wanting to make, you know, like future-based IDM or EDM or something, like, that's not really helpful to say, well, it sounds generic, because maybe that's what they're going for. But in that case, like, yeah, you're crushing it a little too hard. My music is generic. I just make weird stuff, not gonna lie. Generic is fine, is what I'm saying. Make music that you like. My music gets Starbucks. You know what? I like Starbucks. And you know what? I also like pumpkin spice. So keep doing you, brother. But yeah, I think just go back and maybe look at some mixing stuff for that matter, and don't push the limiter too hard. Or clip it. Thank you, man. I'll take this into consideration and listen to your advice. Yeah, for sure, dude. Keep doing your thing. Good stuff. Make music that you like. All right, Bunch of Team Ponzu, you're next. So I don't plan on changing the arrangement much, but I'm not too sure about my mix and master, so it would help to know what to do with the mix, like more bass or something like that. Thanks. Everybody's coming in for mix feedback, and you guys are barking up the wrong tree, but I can try. Makes Hookah Lounge neuro bass? What does Hookah Lounge sound like? This is definitely like Shin Megami Tensei vibes. Maybe having some kind of ambience right here in the background. I really like the white noise washes that you have, but there's a lot of space right there. Butterfly is talking about the crash, not the hi-hat, the kss. Piano notes are not all in right tune. I don't think they're supposed to be. I think there's a lot of modality change within that. Yeah, I think this is really cool. And like as far as the arrangement goes of like what part comes next, I think that it's fine. But I think that you have so much room for trying to make the parts contrast more, I guess. And sometimes that can be difficult to do from like a 4/4 tune, right? 4 on the floor tune. But I can say that like if you were to try to play with making some parts really open and reverberate it out, and then making it dry in some parts with the focus coming into certain places, and you actually play with more dynamics, then I think that the overall track will have like so much more of a narrative. Infected Mushroom does this really well. Granted, the type of like 4/4 stuff that they do is very different, but like with this in particular, it's just kind of like you're just changing up the chords and stuff. But if you kind of have these like washes of reverse sounds and stuff, and then you focus on like making one part really quiet, and you change the dynamics of like you have a big kick and then you like filter the kick during certain specific parts, then that's going to make this tune like carry the narration of this tune is going to be so much more elaborate. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, because it still has a pretty nice flow. But I would say, like, if anything, if you don't change anything, what I would focus on mostly is just working on your transitions of how to make the next part lead into itself a little bit better. Like when this picks up, I think that there's like some notes that kind of collide with each other. So like, listen. There's something. Okay, that was the clap. That was that ta ta ta. But from this, like staying dry in this way, like automating the reverb right here on the piano and then drying everything out with that clap will make that so much more impactful. But nothing really happens to the piano, right? And then also like you can also do like more stuff with the percussion as well, because right now like you've got this really big crash that kind of just plays in on like on the first of every 8 bar, and I think that instead you can just do like, you don't need that crash. Or if you are going to have the crash, we already talked about it, you can make it more quiet, because I guess that could kind of work. But you can also like, instead of doing like having a crash on everything right there, just put on like rides, right? So instead of going you can like maybe change it up and then go in certain places, or like have a different kind of like rhythm, a percussive rhythm that follows along the different types of like polyrhythm that you have with your melodic elements in that way. But there was also another transition that I wanted to talk about. Okay. So right there, that crash thing ruined that. But if you pulled everything away right there and had like a really like low kick, like a really quiet kick or like a filtered kick, right? And you focused on like creating this part, and you took away the hats and you just had the kick going on by itself. Like that could be a really powerful moment between that. But right now it just kind of like, you know what I mean? It kind of flows in that sense and all that. And there are several moments like this, like I'm talking about, that you can do like different component things too that will really make this track come like the progression of it and the melodic stuff that you have in here is really good. But now it's just kind of like using those arrangement tricks to make each part feel just as important as the last. Okay, and so like even right here, right, as opposed to keeping the beat, you can stop the music and go dun 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 bum 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 bum. Wait, what does that go into? Bum 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 bum. You know what I mean? So like you can have those moments right there that really like have this big dramatic change, while taking a break from the kick pattern or something like that, that kind of like, you know what I mean, that allows you to really make each section blow up. So I know that's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point, but I just kind of wanted to point out some specific examples of what I was thinking of. But like I said, like the composition aspect of this is really good. So really nice stuff on that account. All right. Why am I in top chat? I keep going to live chat and it keeps pulling that off. Hey, not sure if it's just me, but the song seems a bit loud compared to your voice. Probably. I'll change it in just a second. Okay, Lex, you're next. Still very whipped, no clue what I want yet. Just go ham, my dude. Out of storage last night, drunk. No clue. Oh, I love drunk tunes. It's my favorite. They're not mistakes, they're just suggestions. Wait. Alright, that should be part of it. Gotta balance, dude. So glad I managed to catch some stream first time. You're so full of knowledge for using this too. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you coming in. Okay, so for your intro, I wouldn't really change a whole lot. But when you go into the next section, I really want you to abstain from something, okay? We got to make a pact right here. Don't bring back your musical stuff yet. Leave it alone. Focus on creating something just from the bass and the rhythm. Take everything else away and make a main section without the musical stuff as big as you can. Because this is like the same piece of feedback that we always talk about, where like you carry too many of the elements over and that draws in, so that way like you don't really have a contrasting main section to your tune. That would be my biggest suggestion. Whatever bass you've got right here, create something out of that drum pattern. You can give like one hint of a melody on a fill or something to kind of like foreshadow where it's going to go. But for the love of God, don't do it. Don't do it. Not yet. Not yet. And then like once you have a main section that's just focused on rhythm and bass, then when you bring back the musical components, it's going to sound so much more impactful, right? Because all this stuff is really cool. And like I always like the musical stuff that you put into it, but you kind of just let everything bleed over through the whole track to where it seems like there are no contrasting parts or they're not different enough. And if you really try to make polarizing elements to your tune, then it's actually going to have like a much, it's going to be, for one, it's going to be more interesting. 2, it's going to seem more dynamic, and 3, it's going to help you flesh out like a part of your musical creativity that I don't mean this in a mean way, but a part of your musical creativity that you can cultivate even more. I think that's the best way to say that. But really focusing on like what goes into that main section and all that stuff, because like if you want to go into something that's still musical and all that, then like the whole outlook of like how you do like your builds and stuff would have to change in that direction. But it always seems like that's where you want to go with it. So like make section 2 section 5 or so, and make bassy section with 2 minimal no melodics. What? No. What? No. Huh? Hold on. Let me find something that I've got to kind of exemplify this. Hangover. Let me see. What's a tune I've written that has music in it? Let me think about this. Oh, okay. Let's listen to IED really quick. Okay, so this starts musical. Okay, so it's going to start musical, then it's going to go into something that's just bass focused, and then it's going to go into something musical again. Yeah, you're confusing me with numbers. Okay, so first part. Cut the music. Then this section right here isn't really going to have anything like musically focused in it. There might be some chimes and stuff, but it's like I made it very different than the first part. Okay, so you can see though, right, for that first part, like it's got musical stuff, which is where you're at right here. Then you've got that little build, then go into something that's very different from what this part sounds like. And if you do that, whenever you bring the music back, it's going to, and I'm not saying that you should do what I do. This is just an example about like how it can be done, right? So it's just a possibility. And I think it's important to say that because I don't want you to sound like me. I want you to sound like you. But whenever you do something like that, the benefit of it is that it makes your tune sound really different, and then it also sets it up to like when you bring the music back, it's going to be like more welcoming and pleasing, and it's going to be more interesting because you give the listener a break from that sense. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I want you to focus on, and that would be the next part of like your arrangement journey, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't make music like that anymore, but I was at a different point in my life, so. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I would do for that. Okay. I was going for a soundtrack inspired by TNT's soundtrack. I have never really made anything like this, and I don't know what to do with it or where to go. Thanks, Alck, you're the best. Thanks, man. I haven't seen it, but In a world full of tacos, one man has the courage to stand up and fight back. This summer, the hottest movie of the year. One taco. One man. One desire.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
I'm renaming this The Last Taco. Yeah, I have to go back and... What was your... Oh, okay. That was really cool, man. So, what I actually hear coming in for this part is a dubstep. Hold on, is a dubstep rhythm, but using industrial drums. So like a ARP, like from Tenant Freeport. That's what he said in the description. But I think that would be really cool to kind of elaborate on that drum beat, because I think like this is a really cool kind of like primer for that. But that's probably what I would do for that specific part right there. But one thing that I want to talk about that would make this part probably a little bit more powerful is once you get to this right here, as opposed to keeping the ARP, I would just take the ARP off and go dum dum dum, and let the silence fill some space. And then as this slowly starts to fade back in from silence, you'll build that up. Then whenever the kick comes in right here, it's actually going to sound a lot more powerful. But right here, I would actually kind of like wash out into just like a supreme ambience. Because right now, because you keep this, it takes away from the energy and the excitement of this part. So just think about doing like a large transition of that, right? Of like, you know, let's say this was going to be for a movie or something, that like the silence part of this would be where, no, I would take away everything. Just have like a really big reverb wash of just a, and then go into the kick pattern. Oh yeah, if that's what you're talking about with the guitar, then like slowly fade that in, and then have like a white noise thing that's coming up.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
And then go into that part with the kick. I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. Vishnu. I know that sample. But yeah, so that's what I would do for that. And then like going into that part, right? Then I think it would actually be really cool if you kind of kept that a bit. And then like when you're going into like the arrangement aspect of it, like let's say you're going to like go into like an emotional piece. Starting here, I would go into maybe like, it'd be really cool. Wait, let me listen to this. Yeah, so this would be a really cool part to introduce like a harsher guitar and have kind of like a burn up, don't burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, burn up, and then like the kick and snare, of course, like sound like industrial with a lot of like organic reverb and texture in that sense. And then moving forward with that, I would probably like go into something to where like you go into an actual progression that sounds a little bit more emotional in that way. So that way it kind of has like that melodic like release, if that makes sense. And I only say this because I know that you know how to do this from listening to your other music, but I think if you did that, then that would pretty much flesh out the track. So yeah, that's probably what I would do for that one. Oh, you already have another part. Okay. Well, you said you didn't know what to do with it, so that was my advice on that sense. But it sounds good, man. I think it sounds really cool. I would also make that kick just a little bit heavier too. Just put a little bit more low end in that. It's just a little too soft for me. Yeah. I'm gonna move on just because I'm gonna try to get through everybody. I gotta take my brother to work in like 30 minutes. So well made, bruv. But it's not that I don't want to hear it. I just got to keep going. And I think I'm actually going to close the queue. Thanks everyone for submitting your whips. The the ooh QU is now closed. Okay. Download Kick 2. I will at some point I will do a review on Kick 2. It's really good. Oh, Bailey's here. Hi, Bailey. All right, so we got E-Fly, 18 Hands, Zebra, Finn, Rest in Punk, Bailey, Vlams, Carapace, Nuko. I got you, man. I'll listen to it, but the queue is closed after that. See a bunch of team. Hey! You! Yeah, you! Fuck you! I'm just kidding. Nice noise. I can't tell if he's saying nice, nice twice or if he's actually saying nice noise. Yeah, I think the vibe that you created is pretty cool, but I've got a couple of suggestions. A couple of suggestions. So the thing with this is that, like, are you wanting this to be a full song or just an intro? If it's just an intro, then I think that you could get away with it being half as long, and I would actually take away the kick clap stuff. The reason why is because this is just for, okay, so I would actually take this out. And the reason why, and like maybe make this half as long, because for one, this repeats like 4 times, but 2, what is this serving to the actual tune? Like, if you want to build on this into something different, then that makes sense. But as of now, you just have it for a short section, and then it goes back into the same thing. So like, if you think about like where you're progressing to, this alludes to this wanting to go somewhere else, but then it comes right back to where we started, if that makes sense. So it's it doesn't have like a meaningful placement within the tune. That's not to say that it doesn't sound cool, but maybe one thing that I would consider, I wanted to make a point of satisfaction, but that's kind of like what I don't let me think about this for a second, okay? Because I see what you're saying, but I would still do it differently. And on the second part, some woman vocals. Okay, so what I would do is when you get to this section here, like let's say you want to keep that, right? What I would do is once you get to this point, I would take away the pads and stuff. I would take away the musical aspect of that and just have but yeah, I would take away all of that and just focus on this part for a second. And then what I would do is, if you're going to end that, then what I would probably try to do is like have some really deep filtering to where it changes the dynamics of the tune, slowly bring this back in with the vocals, and then have maybe like a tabla or something, or some kind of percussive manner that's going to keep building into tension here, and then cut it, as opposed to having like an outro like that. And I think that if you did that, it would help this make more sense. But right now, like it just sounds like a drum beat is over all of the ambience and stuff. So it's not really serving a purpose. It just is like, here's a drum beat and then we go into the same thing. So yeah, so if you did something like that, I think that would help make this part make more sense within the tune. But I think that it should be somewhat contrasting to what it is that you're trying to build, because this right here that you have isn't really a release. Like, I didn't feel like when the drums came, like I was like, I had tension that was like, I didn't feel like the tension was going away, and that I felt like I didn't have that euphoric sense from that particular part right here. If anything, I got it from the ambience on its own. So if you kind of like had like just maybe like a one note thing, like clap, 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 and then maybe you had like a Middle Eastern like kind of flute or something, that would make a lot more sense for this. And then you can kind of fade that out and go into quiet. Yeah, I get what you mean completely. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I would do for that, just to make that make a little bit more sense. But if you're going to keep it this long, then you might as well have multiple parts to this. So, you know, that's, I don't know. I had, the last intro that I wrote was kind of a little bit more, was kind of abstract and shit as well. Like the intro, which was the infinite corridor. Do I even have this? Infinite. No. Okay, hold on. But that was actually more of like a literal narration. Anyways, I'm going to skim through this. Right, somebody walking through, somebody finds the infinite corridor. And then to step into the portal. Yeah, so, but that's like a literal narration of that, and I'm not saying that's what you should do by any means. But that's kind of like some things to consider with this about like just kind of how to give it a little bit more of that story dynamic. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the second part still needs tweaking and stuff, but as for what this is right now, like this part doesn't make a lot of sense yet, and that's kind of just what I'm trying to bring to attention. I'm not saying that it's bad or that like it's not a good like a piece, but just trying to help you flesh out how to make the story of whatever your EP is supposed to be like have a deeper sense of cohesion. But I wouldn't really change anything else. So yeah, that's what I got for that one. What do we got next? Yeah, I totally get that. Oh, 18 Hands, you are next. Glad I had time to join in today. I'm glad too. The Way You Move. You're welcome, dude. Everybody. Sorry, that's just the vibe I get.
Tell you are the right one. Don't know how we ended up in here, but I'm glad we're here. Can you
Put it on digital streams.
outcome? Oh, I'm not leaving without one. More than a feeling, it's engineered. Yeah, I'm glad we're here. Don't you say you're sorry, babe. Loving all your colors, babe. We can dance it all away. Yeah, it's just you and not a day. Say what you wanna do. I won't try hiding away from you. We both are hungry for something new. Into your love and the way you move. It's the way you move.
Hella Shovel Knight vibes.
Feeling your hands over my skin. Burn like a fire and it's all too much. I can't get enough. Oh, don't you say you're sorry, babe. I don't wanna run. Loving all your colors, babe. Show me another one. We can dance it all away. It's just you
That was really well done, man. Dude, the only thing that I could say is I would maybe work on, not my usual, but I did this a few years back, more pop. Yeah, this is actually really well done. Yeah, the only thing that I could say that seemed a little bit off to me was just the vocal, and that's more so of like the mixing and level of it. But everything else was really well produced and like really well mixed. So I think, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to give any advice on this because like it's really good. Um, I think that aside from that, like just go back to mastering it and stuff was appropriate for the stream. Anything's acceptable as long as it's not country or screamo. I don't really take like raw or twangy, you know. Can't do that shit. But aside from that, everything else is pretty acceptable. I'm pretty open-minded usually. Yeah. So the vocal I think is just a little bit too overpowering for the rest of the music. And I think that there's also some space that you can use, like maybe just in certain places have a little bit more reverb on her voice. But other than that, like don't change anything as far as the arrangement goes. Yeah, I personally I wouldn't touch anything else except for going into the mastering stage. But that's, yeah, good shit, man. This is really well done for like industry standard music. You should definitely put that out. Big ups, man. I'm sorry I don't have more. To be honest, yeah, that was good. I always reserve the right to not have anything though. Where are we at here? All right, Zebra. Hi, I just like feedback on the changes to know if the changes are beneficial. Okay. There you go, buddy. This is helpful for sure. Yeah, for sure, dude. See you, E-Fly. Something weird going on here with the sidechain compression or something. I broke the mix down again. Yeah, and I also think that you're crushing your drums hella hard. Like you're clipping them or limiting them or doing glue compression to them so hard that you're losing your transients. But I think that, like, yeah, unfortunately, like, the advice still stands on, like, focusing on, like, fleshing out, for one, the biggest thing with you is the transitions, but also having dynamics with quiet parts and loud parts in the tune, right? So, like, with this part, yeah, I still think that it would be really sick if this part was super dry, and then, like, you have this, like, build that goes up to this part. But the transition between this and this doesn't make sense quite yet. Wait. Right? Because essentially, like, you pretty much just up the energy from about a 5 to a 10. And so you kind of want to have something like that to help build tension in order to get this really nice release, if that makes sense. And, like, this part doesn't need to be as loud as this part. But your synths and stuff, I'd actually argue that, like, your marimbas and stuff are actually louder than your color-based stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so that stuff is actually louder than this part. And so, like, do the opposite is what I would recommend. Make this stuff a little bit more quiet, a little bit more subtle, so that way when you get to this point, it's going to have a lot more energy in that sense. But aside from that, I think that the stuff that you have, I think that like the arrangement that you have is fine and that it works, but you just need to flesh out your transitions now in order to make them make sense. And then we can talk about mixing another time. But yeah, but it's cool, man. I think one thing that I really, like, appreciate about this is, even though you keep sending the same tune over and over again, it's kind of nice to just watch, like, your progress about, like, where it started, how it became, because, like, most of the time you still accepting demos. No, I got to take my brother to work really soon. Actually, I need to go wake him up and make sure that he's alive. I mean, awake. I'm joking, but yeah. So it's cool to just kind of see this journey, because, like, I always wondered how a song could take more than 2 weeks to be made, because that's about the maximum amount of time that I've spent on a tune. So it's cool that you kind of still have the energy and stuff to keep poking at it. And I'd say, like, keep doing it, because it keeps getting better and better. But yeah, man, that's what I got for that one. All right, Finn, you're next. Actually, hold on, guys. Let me wake my brother up, make sure that he's alive. Okay, thank you. Yeah, for sure. All right, Finn. We're going to bang these out pretty quickly. Rip Daft Punk. Holy shit, this is dope as fuck. Finn, are you a bass player? Just out of curiosity. You drew it in? aggressive. No, that's not why though. It's not the sound of the bass that I'm wondering about. It's the phrasing of the bass of why I asked. I feel like this part gets repetitive. Okay, yeah. So I think the only thing with this, and the only thing that you could change with that, is maybe just adding some more high end stuff, or change the bass line when it gets to this part. Like, because if anything, I actually think that the length of this tune is kind of spot on. But I'm also a fan of like shorter tracks these days. Yeah, good for a guitar lead solo or something of the sort, right? Of just like making one small minor change, or like make I guess like elevate the bass line is what some people say, right? Where like it's like it's already kind of ascending, the dun dun dun, with all of the elaboration and stuff in between. So kind of maybe give that answer there and this second part or something, and then make that twice as long. But really, that's probably the only thing that I would change through this entire tune. But if you have any other kind of like higher end synth stuff, or something that has like a little bit more, I guess like high frequency energy right here, then this would be the best place to put it. But the arrangement aspect of this, like, dude, this line. I couldn't do that in my wildest dreams. So that was really fucking sick. The chromatic mode or whatever it is that you did right there was really fucking cool. Holy shit. But other than that, man, I really wouldn't change anything else with this tune. The mix is really good, and it just has a really nice flow in that way. So yeah, you might be just playing this part over and over a little bit too long, but that just means, create a small variation between this, and you're pretty much good to go. Yeah. But sick, dude. This was really fucking cool, man. I'm sorry I don't have much more, but wow, what a tune. All right, Bailey, very weird idea. Haha, not too serious. It's always serious. Yeah, you just cut the master and then pitched it. It's the phrasing, though, and the taste of it is what I'm saying. That was sick. I think for this in particular, one suggestion that I have is actually a little bit more creative in that sense. Not more creative, but it's a creative suggestion rather, not like a critical or critique. But I actually think that this would be really cool if you turn this into like one of those. If you actually instead replaced at like when the drums come back, replace it with an actual amen break, and go into like that classic Toonami, like like a jungle, but like the fast kind of jungle, not like the slow kind. And then what you do is you open up the filter a little bit and then add some kind of spacey pads that play along the same line that you have on this. And it's not to say that like what you have is bad by any means, but that's just kind of like this cool idea that I thought would be really cool to kind of lead into that. Um, but really, I kind of just want to hear you break the drums and like maybe like elaborate on the ambience. But that's really like that's really where like I see this track going if I were to put it together. But I kind of have like a particular bias towards that, and I don't really use aim and breaks like that anymore. But at the same time, for this particular aesthetic, I think that would work out really well. There's something that you can search out on YouTube called Toonami Resurrection Mix by my friend Razzie. And I think that would be like a really cool reference that you can kind of just like gauge some ideas about what I'm talking about. But other than that, man, like this is, yeah, I really like how authentic you keep your music as far as like staying true to like, you know, the old school vibe. You pull it off really well. But that's what I would do for that. Good stuff. All right, Vlams. Here's a project I started a while ago. I was never able to come up with any form of the next or previous section. Okay. Yeah, for sure, dude. Okay, cool. This one's an easy fix. And by fix, I mean like easy suggestion. So you've got a couple of melodic elements in here. And what I would do is take those or take the spirit of those and use that for your intro and or for your next part. But, you know, you've got... so having that little no 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 no, like that's kind of like the hook of this whole theme or like this whole tune, right? So find a way to like reintroduce that, but like with different instrumentation, or like, you know, maybe you have something that's kind of like a silent type synth or something where it's like an arpeggiator. And then you got that. You know, and then like you got your build up, and then you go into like this part right here or something. But like you can also just keep that same style of like that same mode and create like some kind of pad or something. What kind of sound would you suggest for the melody? It depends. Like it just depends on like the aesthetic that you're going for. If you want it to be like ambient, then take any sound really, and then just drench the fuck out of it in reverb and kind of make it kind of spacey and slow the melody down. So like a as you slowly start to build tension. If you want it to be more upfront, then make the synth drier. Or like play something different. You know, what I would try to focus on though is like really not what sound I would suggest, but more so just try to find other sounds that have the same kind of like processing or the same kind of something that relates to this, right? Like you can even take some of these basses and stuff and like turn them into plucks or something that's a little bit like less harsh, but still like using the same waveforms as opposed to searching for a preset or something. But really, like that's the only thing. Like you already did yourself a favor by like creating a hook and motif out of this, so now it's just elaboration on that. And it's not to say like that's what you have to do, but if you get stuck, like you've already, you know, you already have bass elements, you already have melodic elements, so it's just a matter of like making those pieces relate to the outside structure. If like none of that works or whatever, then just duplicate the drum section of this and then do a completely different riff. Like set yourself up for like a short little transition right here, do a completely different riff, and then that will take you into at least having a little bit of an extension on like the next part of the main section. But that's pretty much what I would do for that. Like, yeah, it's just kind of a matter of like thinking about what you want to do. And by what you want to do, I don't mean contextually. I mean just like as far as like the theory part of it. After this section, do you want to go into something heavier? Do you want to go into, you know, a break? Do you want to like try to do like a one-up part to this? Do you want to elaborate on this or try to make this cooler, or like, you know what I mean? And then before that, like, how do you want to introduce it? And that's what you should think about for intros. Like, as opposed to thinking about, I don't know what to do for an intro, you should be like, well, what are some ways, or like how would I want to introduce this part of the story, or what happens before this part of the story? And when you start thinking about things like that, like it's still the same thought process, but you're looking at it through a different perspective, I guess. And hopefully that can kind of help you get out of that like 16 bar block or whatever. But at worst case scenario, duplicate and variate and just keep fucking with that. That's like how to immediately make a decision without thinking about it. But if you can kind of put a little bit of thought process into that, then you start thinking about your tunes as stories as opposed to, you know, that just bang on like, oh, intro, main section, whatever. Because sometimes that can get so mundane that we don't connect with that anymore. But if you think about like making it a story, then you'll connect deeper with it. But that's like a philosophical thing. But yeah, nice tune. It sounded good. Okay, Carapace, you are next, and then we're gonna take Nuka's. First prize was anything off? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Carapace, you're next. Yeah. As far as your intro goes, I would just use the na na na, and then like just maybe like with an easy hat pattern, and then slowly start to like introduce the drums, but maybe with a high pass filter. Have a really big build up, and then when you get to this part, like the first part of the main section, I would actually not have the riff, the na na na. I would just go into just I would definitely have a section like that though, as opposed to just the because that would be really fucking nice of just like having like introducing the entire drum kit in that sense, or changing the drum kit for that matter. But I think that you've got too much stereo in your bass, and that's why it sounds a little bit thin to me. So if you really just focused on having like making sure that the low end is in mono, and I'm not saying that it's not, but just make sure that it is, then I think you can kind of go into that section and have something like that, and then you can go and bring back the riff in that sense. So like no audible bass riff right there. No, I'm talking about the pad that's on top. The na na na. I would just go. Once that's introduced right here after the clap and stuff, I would just go. you know, and just fucking and just break the drums. Hey Meta, yeah, you're too late. I'm sorry. The queue is closed. But yeah, so like in that sense, you know what I mean? Like this is really like the basis of that whole thing. And then like once you get past that part, then you can get into this other kind of cool elaboration stuff that you have with the other different like synths and all that. But your mids and your sub sounds a little bit weak to me. Not like in a, I don't mean that in a bad way, but just saying like I think that it could use a little bit of beef. Damn, lol. I'm sorry, I gotta take my brother to work soon, so to introduce enough elements that it doesn't take the sound, it doesn't sound alien after the drop. Excitement before it. Yes, I agree. Yeah, and so like you've like, and some other things that you can do too, like is instead of just repeating the riff, like you can also introduce like some melodic things with this. Like you have this really cool like square blip in here somewhere. Hey Jasmine, I'm not, but you know that you won the giveaway, right? Blop. So like creating something like that to where like you're just playing the sub of just like blop 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 blop, you know, or something like that could be you know what I mean, like very easy to do, or just like something to where like you're focused on like just like kind of playing the sub line of it, but you introduce some kind of like subtle kind of melodic thing that's like an arpeggiator or something would work really well with that. And it doesn't need to be like a very elaborate melody. It's more so focused on creating a rhythm with that. You know, or even like a boop, 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 boop. You know, something so fucking simple like that can add a lot of different tension and elements to that while you're still breaking the hell out of the drums. But I think that you've got a lot of really good parts here. It's just a matter of like collecting your thoughts and then kind of fleshing out the arrangement in that sense. And then I'd probably add just a little saturation to your bass and make it just a little bit louder. But yeah, lots of really good energy on this. And like some other stuff that you can do too is like, I really like the fact that, and this is something I love to try to replicate as well. But something that I really like that you've kind of already started this idea on is that you've got these contrasting parts with this, but to make this even more contrasting, you can do different shit to the drums, or you can create spaces. So like that was one thing that I really liked that I did on that existentialism tune that I have. This is more of like, how do I say? This is more of like industrial stuff, but take a listen to this part. Sorry, this part right here. It's coming up, sorry. Right here.
What is my place?
So like having like little things like that within there, especially like this, right? Of like changing like the style or the facet of the drums or something in that little sense. Like there's a lot of interpretation or like contrast that you can do with the drums whenever you have that phrasing. And it's already kind of there, but I would say try to dramatize that a little bit more. Monster from Noise would probably be the best example of that, of just how they do that, and it's just, that's fucking insane. But that's probably what I would try to get into, to just give it as much impact as it can. But yeah, man, this is really cool to listen to. You got a good idea going. Keep playing with it. All right, last tune, and then I got to take my brother to work. Nuko. Fuck. It's 3 a.m. right now. I'll check the packs and message you on Discord in the morning. Okay, dude. Thank you so much for the ideas. Yeah, for sure. I was just looking for that noise track to say the same. Couldn't remember which one it was. Yeah, that's one of my That's actually one of the first tunes that I learned that I heard from them, and I was just like, oh my god. Oh, that was another thing I was going to say, Carapace. See if you can find an opera sample. I thought that would sound really cool with your tune. All right, so I'm gonna speed run through this, okay? And it's not because I don't want to take the time to give you all of the things, but it's because I don't have the time to give you all the things. So 2 ideas. The first thing is that you've got this main riff right here, and during this part of the section, I'd like to see you add more percussive elements and elaborate on the groove aspect of things. But something that you can do is take a page out of EPROM's book, and change the synth over time and let it evolve, right? Because it's still kind of like the same sound throughout the entire tune, so you can actually like start to slowly add FM to it or slowly start to add sync to it, assuming that it's in a synth or MIDI, and that will kind of help create more interest and like make it seem like it's going somewhere within that part of the tune. The second idea that I have, if you don't want to do that, is like the same thing with like more elaboration on the drums and stuff, but instead of having this section at the end, I would just splice this section and focus on fleshing that out right here and keeping the track shorter. Because I don't really think that the track needs to be 4 minutes long for the type of tune that it is. Kenny, you're 2 hours late. I'm sorry. But in that sense, that will, like, you can kind of like remove this part and then splice that together and then like create an outro like that or something. But I think that would allude to that really well. So the last thing that I want to leave you with is working on your intro a little bit and trying to find other elements that you can use to create a little bit more tension, because right now it's just kind of like, it's just kind of there. Ian, I'm emailing you a drum breaks pack I did for Loop Masters, recorded it with Jungle Drummer, original funk tempo, recorded slice Rex files. Hope it's of use to you. Dude, thanks. I'll take a look at it. Thanks for confirming that. Wait, I thought about cutting off the second half of the first drop. Yeah, I wouldn't say cut it, but I would say like do something different. Yeah. But then within this stuff, like I would try to make like have bigger synths and stuff. Like start off with like the really cool, like nice little delay thing or whatever. But you want to find more elements to add to make this have like a lot of, I guess, tension in that sense, a lot of uneasiness. So that way, when you get to this section, it's going to hit harder. But right now, it kind of just creeps in and has this like nonchalant feel. So it doesn't really like it doesn't introduce, excuse me, this section very well. And that's what I think that this needs to make it like kind of glue together in that sense. But that's kind of like what I would try to maybe focus on of putting together, because if you do that, then I think that would make like the entire tune a lot more interesting to listen to in that sense. But yeah, all right, guys. I gotta bail. Much love to you all. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Maybe we just hit 8K. Thank you guys so much for 8,000 subs. Every 200 subs, we will do another giveaway in case if you didn't win. For those of you guys who did win the giveaway, send me a message on Discord. I'll get those packs to you. What else? Yeah, if you guys want to become a member, or if you guys want to skip the line, then you guys can join the membership, all that other stuff. For those of you who are members that support the channel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Today was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great submissions, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the production aspect of it. Bye, everybody.